Okay.
Test.
Alright, welcome to Live Healthy Team Challenge. We are excited to have you guys here tonight. So let's start off by giving yourselves a big round of applause to committing to healthier lifestyle. Alright, so on behalf of the Y and Kishwaukee Hospital, welcome. I am Courtney. I work here at the hospital and coordinate the program with Sue Muntz, who is the exercise director at the Y. You'll see her there a lot when you go to exercise. And we are going to start off today by going over the contents of your folder. So Sue's going to walk you through that.
I am going to try to stay right here. We are taping for the third shift people or whoever can't make it. So they'll be able to hear it as well. If the coaches would kind of stand up, we'll introduce them. Jamie's over there. Rebecca is there, ponytail, Carrie, blonde, Sarah right here, and Jen there. And anyway, okay, so you all got this. And so we'd like you to bring it back every Monday. And you will get weighed. If you forget it, it's not that big of a deal. We can write it down on a piece of paper. You were given a number. And what I will do on Tuesdays is after everybody gets their weight, I will post the weights by number. So try not to forget your number. If you forget, we can tell you. But that way you can kind of track and see where you are with the rest of the group. And I can send it to Scott as well so he can post it over at Johnson Controls. Now you don't have to get weighed every week. If you want to, be sneaky, some people do that. They won't get weighed till the very end. But we encourage you. It is kind of good to get weighed each week, just so you can kind of track and see how you're doing. It kind of just stay on track. Then we have a medical form and a waiver. We'd like you to fill those out and give them to your coach. Again, if you forgot them today, you can bring them to the Y when you work out. Just make sure they get those and make sure there's emergency contact on the bottom of that house reading form. I know nothing's going to happen to anybody. You do need an emergency contact. And then you should have gotten one of these little cards if you're not a YMCA member. So when you come in, you just scan it. And for the next 8 weeks, you will be a Y member. That means you use all the facilities, you go all the classes. We open at 5 a.m. and close at 10 p.m., so there's no excuse not to come. So today's kind of the first day that hopefully, you're thinking about starting a healthier lifestyle, and so that's what we really want to concentrate. However, this is a contest as well, just kind of as a motivation. So I will go over the rules sheet. We basically have 2 different kind of competitions. One is the top male and female who lose the most amount of weight by percent body fat, like they do with Biggest Loser, will win a year membership to the Y. So we're doing that for the community members and also Johnson Control. So 2 of you should be able to win a year membership. But we also want everyone to participate, so we have a team participation competition as well. And those are just based on points for participating, not on weight at all. So you will get 1 point for coming to the Monday night meetings and presentations. You get 1 point for going to the workout at the Y, and you can get 1 point for doing a diet walk. Most studies show you'll be more successful if you do a diet walk, and so that's why we wanted to do one. At least 2 a week, hopefully 1 during the week and 1 on the weekend. We usually tend to get a little differently on the weekend. And you can do that a few different ways, and Courtney will talk about that later. So it's just really a good idea, because then you can see how much protein you're getting. If you're getting too much, it's not good for you, or if you're not getting enough, and that's why you're not building any muscle. And also, how much carbohydrates and stuff. So keeping a dialogue is really important. And then there's a page on the amenities that the Y has. We have 2 swimming pools, we have 2 workout rooms, we have a satellite at Varsity Y, the Huntley Middle School, so we actually have another pool there as well. We have 100 classes a week, so I really encourage you to try everything. You're bound to find something you like. There's millions of different kinds of ways to work out. You don't have to do something you don't like. You know, if you really don't like to swim, don't pick swimming for your thing, or riding a bike hurts your knee or whatever. So try to pick something that you actually like to do besides working out with your team. And hopefully your coach will be doing different things as well, introducing you to different parts of the YMCA. So hopefully you'll find something that you really enjoy. If you miss your workout with your coach, you can make it up at another time. So let's say you're on my team, which is Tuesdays at 4:30. You get out of work late, or you have to pick up your kid from school or something. You can go to the 7:30 time, or go to the Saturday time if you happen to miss during the week. Just let the coach know so they can let your coach know to give you the points, because the points are important. Does that make sense to everyone? So every Monday night you'll meet with these people, and then the workouts are with not only Johnson Control people, but people from the community as well. So your teams will be a little bit bigger probably when you're working out.
I got it.
And then there's a list of all the classes that the YMCA has. Really encourage you. It's just more fun to work out in a group. Once you have somebody telling you what to do, so you don't have to figure it out yourself. We have all different kinds of classes, all different fitness levels. So hopefully, again, you'll find something that you like. I encourage you to try them all. Yes, I actually teach a yoga class myself. So Courtney's going to come now and talk about the dialogues. Courtney? Any questions about any of that stuff, though?
That's right, good to remember there's a camera right there. So as far as tracking goes, like Sue said, we want you to track at least 2 days a week, and that's 2 full days, because it really doesn't help you much if you're tracking breakfast and nothing else, because you can be a little dishonest that way. So make sure you're tracking at least the full day, 2 days. And however you want to track is up to you. So we provided you in your folder with a Live Healthy tracker. There's room for food and exercise. You could also just use a plain old notebook, or you can use a website. We recommend MyFitnessPal. It is a free website, and I will just show you briefly what it looks like. Does anyone use MyFitnessPal currently? Got a couple people?
I've had it for like 3 years. Yeah, I've been using it for the last couple of weeks.
All right, well, that's good that you have it. So what you do is, in the back of your folder, there's instructions, but you log into myfitnesspal.com. Since most of you don't have access to it right now, you'll just create a login name. There was a question earlier tonight if you need to use your Facebook login, and you don't. You can just use your email address and then create a login name. So since I already have one, I'll just sign in.
Can you tell us again, what is MyFitnessPal again? What is it exactly?
It's a diet and exercise, or a food and exercise tracker. So you can enter all of your food, all of your exercise. Good time to forget my password. You can also get it on your cell phone. Hang on, I can't talk and type. Let's see. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So you can get your food, your exercise, and reports. So if you wanted to see like a weekly report of all of the protein that you consumed or all of the calories, you can pull up that in reports. But the main function for this program is to track your food. So you would log in and then click on food. And then you scroll down by meal to add your food. So I use this as an example with the first group, dried pineapple at breakfast, and it pulls up how many calories it is and all this information as well. So let's do one for lunch. What would you guys like me to add for lunch?
Turkey sandwich.
Pizza. A turkey sandwich? Ooh, pizza. I'll go with pizza. All right, so you type in pizza under your search. And then it will pull up a ton of different options. So it helps if you're really specific about the food that you type in. So let's say that we had this slice of cheese pizza. Then you'll type in your portion. So, I mean, if you had 3 slices, be honest and type in 3, because that greatly changes the calorie count. And then you would add it to your diary. And it will pull it up. So 456 calories. And it will take it off your total. So see down here, it's got your total calories that you've eaten today, what your goal is, and then how many you have left. So when you sign in, you'll put in your height, your weight, all that information, and it will give you a calorie goal based on that. So not everyone will be the same. You can also do the same thing on your phone. The phone also has an option to scan like a barcode. So if you have a box of granola bars or whatever, you can scan it. So it makes it a little easier. Does anyone have questions off the bat on here? It kind of takes some getting on there and just checking it out. Yeah, I guess so. It does advertise pizza when you type in pizza. It's smart. All right, so basically, as long as you're tracking 2 days a week, you'll get a point for it. So, the other thing is you can print out a hard copy of your FitnessPal journal, or you can allow your coach access to it to look on it online. So if you're interested in that, just ask your coach, and they can talk to you about it.
She knows me already.
Questions? All right, so we're really fortunate to have some past winners of the program and some really inspiring other weight loss stories with us tonight. So I will welcome Grant to come on up and speak to you. And he was our male winner of the program last year.
Hi, I'm Grant. I recognize a few of you guys.
I guess he did.
I worked at Johnson Controls as a temp while in college, or briefly here and there. Anyway, I used to be a bigger guy. I didn't grow up big, but while in college and after college, I ballooned pretty bad. I got up to 344. I started my journey March 2012 at 344, and by May 2013, I was 204. I don't have any real secret, just consistent diet, exercise, and sleep. I did a lot of experimenting. Sometimes you'll do one thing or the other thing, and it wasn't really working out for me, but once I started doing all 3 together, I was seeing consistent results, and I just kept building on them from there. When I was bigger, I had a really hard time doing a lot of exercise, so I just started walking a mile a day. Just a mile a day, and eventually I got up to 2 and to 3 and to 4. And it got to the point where I could get up to 8 miles a day walking, and then go to the Y and do cardio and weights and everything else. So mainly I just want to say, figure out what works for you, experiment what worked for me might not work for you. Everybody's different. And then once you do figure it out, just work at it and be consistent. The results you'll get don't really be worth it. I'm a changed man. I was going down a bad road, and I'm really glad I changed my life around while I had the opportunity to do it. So I don't really know what else to say. I don't have any prepared remarks. Any questions?
Did you work out every day, Grant, to lose this weight? Every single day?
No, once a month. Yeah, I did every day, even on rest days. I would do active rest, and even walking. Walking is simple, and just walk a mile or 2. Especially after this terrible winter, I know a lot of us want to get out and enjoy the good weather if it ever comes. So, okay, I guess that's it.
Thanks.
Carrie?
Oh, okay.
just stand right up here. So for those of you that don't know me, which is pretty much everybody from Johnson Controls, my name is Carrie Hallahan, and I've lived in Sycamore for 8 years. I'm from Janesville, Wisconsin. I grew up very overweight my entire life, and the first time I had to tell this story tonight, I wasn't prepared to say it, but actually the first time anybody ever called me fat was when I was 5. My ballet teacher actually told my mom I needed to lose some weight, and that, I think she was pretty much embarrassed that I was in, all these other kids are so much skinnier than I was. And as the years went on, I didn't really lose any weight or anything like that. The summers would come, and we would run around back, in the 80s. We didn't have all the video games and things, and then the school year would come around again. The only activity I got was gym class. And middle school was tough. I started getting, not really bullied, but picked on for my weight. I couldn't fit into all the Guess jeans and the Esprit jeans that the girls were wearing, and Target and Walmart didn't really have the fashion they do now, so it was tough being a teenager during that time. High school got even worse. We had off-campus lunch, so fast food was my best friend. I worked full-time, and I spent my money on food. I woke up in the morning, ate sugary cereals. During the day, it was either Wendy's or McDonald's or Taco Bell. After school, I worked at Target, so I ate in the Food Avenue every night, or I'd have to eat my own pizza and eat the whole thing when I got home from work. And right after high school, it was probably about my heaviest, about 200 pounds, and I got really sick. My gallbladder was diseased, and it was that time where I started to notice other people my age getting sick. Doctors were starting to see a trend now in what we're now experiencing with childhood obesity and how it's getting worse. So I call myself kind of a survivor of childhood obesity, because it was that point where I had my gallbladder out, lost a little bit of weight because I couldn't eat the greasy food anymore, and then I was getting kidney stones, and I was in the hospital. If any of you have had one of those, so yeah, those are terrible. So then as I creeped up into my 20s, I started fad dieting. I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to look good. Heck, my 21st birthday was coming, and the bar scene was ahead of me. So I do some fad diets. I do the Atkins diet. I starved myself, take carbs away from me. I did cleansing, lose a little bit of weight, and then gain back more the next time. I turned 21, my weight ballooned up again. I started drinking. I worked a shift where we got out at 9 o'clock at night. We're single, we made all this money. What we're gonna do? We're gonna drink and have fun. And then that was it. I was just like, starting to really gain a lot more weight. And the company I worked for did have a weight room and a fitness room, and I managed to lose a little bit of weight, and then met my husband in my early 20s, and we decided to get married pretty much right away. And he was an athlete, never knew what it was like to be overweight, kind of guided me in the gym a little bit. I started with some cardio, looked good in the wedding dress, and then we wanted to start our family, and my weight ballooned up right after the wedding. I lost a couple pregnancies at the beginning, and then when I finally got pregnant with my son in 2004, I had him, and I was at my heaviest. I was about 200. The last time I remember ever being weighed, I don't even know the day he was born. I was hoping he weighed 60 pounds when he was born, because I was so huge. I was over 234, and not so much just body fat too and baby, but the water and the unhealthiness that comes with it, with that. And everybody's like, well, you were pregnant. Pregnancy aside or whatever, you do not need to gain 100 pounds, during that time. I gave birth to him, and it was not very much weight loss after that. I got pregnant again a year later, and that was it. After I had my second son and the complications during the pregnancies, I had to be in 2 weddings. And I ordered the dresses really, really big, knowing that I would have a baby, and I couldn't get them zipped up. And we were talking a couple weeks from a wedding, and that was my turning point. I was just like, I'm so sick of going up and down, up and down, up and down. Where's the give and take in this? I decided from there on out, I joined a gym. We had just moved here to Sycamore, and I started working out cardio first. Weight was coming off, got the dress zipped up. And then I decided the fall of 2006, that was it. I was going to start weightlifting and opened a book called Body for Life. And I followed the eating, which did not seem like a diet. This guy was giving me permission to eat 5 or 7 times a day, which is good. Yeah, and I went down to a size 6 after the 12 weeks of it. It was not grueling workouts or anything like that. Weightlifting, cardio, eating right, it was the food. That's the biggest portion of it, literally. And after that, come that next year, I got my personal training license and I started training, and I just wanted to touch other lives and show people that they could get there and just feel good about themselves. And then I did get pregnant with my 3rd child, but it was a pregnancy that was actually healthy and perfect, and I worked out during it, and I had her here at this hospital. And then the year following, I was working out one night, and I felt my leg fill up with fluid. Didn't really know what it was. This was 2010. Went home, kind of rested it for a couple days, and then I knew something was wrong. I started turning purple, and it doubled in size. And I came here to Kish, and I had a blood clot. It was so bad that it scared every single doctor here. They didn't know what was going on. Never seen a young person like me have such a bad blood clot. It went from my groin to my knee because my abdominal vein collapsed. I have May-Thurner syndrome, and it's where your abdominal vein and artery touch. Yours don't. Mine did all my life, and my vein probably just gave out and collapsed. They weren't going to do any surgery. They were just going to put me on anticoagulants and put me on the medical floor and let my leg kind of simmer down a little bit. They said I'd never work out again. I'd always had trouble walking, even to go shopping. My leg would swell up. And then my doctor, Dr. Shaw, he's like, no, you're young. There's something wrong here. We're going to do some surgery. So they, the intervention lab here decided to do a surgery on me that they should have flown me to May-Thurner or to Mayo Clinic for, but I put my faith in God and Kishwaukee, and they did 3 surgeries to the back of my leg. Every single day I was in surgery. It was a procedure that like rotor-rooted the vein so that the blood clot would be removed, and my leg went down to normal size, but they told me that it was very unlikely that I was going to make it through it at all. I had a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old, and a very scared husband. I mean, why does that stuff happen? Well, health issues come up, and if it wasn't for the fact that my blood and my heart were working so good every single day, the doctors still don't know how the rest of my body got the blood flow it needed. So I'm actually really glad that I lost the weight because I had a healthy pregnancy. I made it through something terrible, and to this day, maybe my knee clicks a little bit here and there in my shoulder, but my blood lab numbers are excellent. I feel good. I sleep, like Grant's saying, I sleep every night. I eat good throughout the day, and I exercise regularly. If you see me at the YMCA regularly, let's talk about that right now. I mean, I teach a lot of exercise classes now, but I do make it a part of my life even when I'm not at the YMCA, and I don't want my daughter or anybody to ever have to hear, especially at age 5, which is my daughter's age right now, that you're fat, you know, and that's hard because that did motivate me during my life to lose weight. It made me more sad. It made me want more food. So those kind of words kind of stick with you throughout your life. I don't think you ever really get over that. But I just want, you know, now that I'm a trainer and stuff, I never thought I'd be here talking to you about this tonight. So just continue on, start small steps, one at a time. That's all I did. And that's like what Grant's saying. Maybe today it's a mile, maybe tomorrow it's 2 miles, and maybe today it's just giving up one thing that you know is in the way of your goals. So if you guys have any questions or need anything, I'm here. I've been through everything. So thanks for having me here, and I look forward to working with you guys.
We have one more speaker.
I do like Tony. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is
I didn't win any contest. I didn't nearly die, and I'm probably one of the oldest people in the room. So I just sort of, represent the geriatric set here. About 5 years ago, about 6 years ago, I decided that I needed to change my life. I weighed about 70 pounds more than I do now, and I spent most of my time sitting on the couch watching TV. And I would like to say that there was some big altruistic purpose for me deciding to lose weight, that I wanted to do it for my family, or I wanted to do it for this or for that, but really I just wanted to do it so that I could get up out of a chair without double pumping, and so that I could walk a little ways without being out of breath, so that I could just live my life. And I started out by going to my physician to be sure, because I was worried about my health
I
in general.
double pump when I get up for it.
And after some testing, he decided that it was okay. And as I was going through that process, I also tried to figure out why it was that I hadn't been successful at any of the other times that I had tried to lose weight. And I'm not going to share the details with you, but there was a moment when I knew. And once I knew what that was, it was, well, I will share it with you. When I was young, when I was 11, my dad died. And he had a heart attack. He had a heart condition my whole life, and he got up and he walked across the living room, and he was out of breath, and he died. And I was quite certain that if I got up and exerted myself and got winded, that I was really, really at risk. And once I understood that about myself, I decided that I needed to look for a different kind of trainer to begin with. Nowadays, Carrie kicks my butt regularly, but 5 or 6 years ago, that I wasn't ready for that. And so I went someplace that had more of a medical tone to it than a gym. And that began the process that changed my life. And when I pulled up to that place, I had to park. They had a row of parking places pretty close to the door, and they all had handicap signs on them. And I couldn't park there. So I had to park a little bit farther away. And I was afraid, really honestly afraid, that I wouldn't be able to walk that far. That's how unhealthy and unfit I was. I was there this morning, and I counted how many steps that was. It was 58 steps. So I'm really proud of the fact that to celebrate my 64th birthday in October, I rode my bike 64 miles. So I was trying to think about what I could say that might be valuable to you guys, and it really isn't so much, I don't think, about what I did. It's about the lessons that I learned along the way. One of those is that every time you move, it's exercise. And there's a whole world of things out there that you can do. I like shoveling snow. Not as much as I did 4 months ago, but I like shoveling snow. And so, okay, I will.
My house.
And it's fun for me when the neighbor comes across the street, and he's probably in his 40s, and he's a gray-haired old woman shoveling her snow, and he wants to do something nice, and he says, I could use my snowblower and clean your driveway for you, and I'm like, I got it. And that feels good. It feels good when I can run and keep up with my 5-year-old grandson. Because if my life hadn't changed, that wouldn't be the same. I think it's important to remember that this process, no matter where you are when you start, is a marathon, not a sprint. This first part of it is kind of a sprint, because you're going to really be dedicated and really have some short-term goals. But the rest of it is a marathon, because you need to just stick with it. Just keep doing it. It doesn't matter, it didn't matter so much to me whether I lost this many pounds or that many pounds in a week. What mattered to me was that my weight was trending down and my fitness was trending up. And the rest of it was detail, and I just didn't let myself get wrapped up in that. How many of you guys can ride a bike? Me too. I'll come back to that. I'm honestly, I'm kind of thrown by the fact that I'm talking to a bunch of guys, because I had this whole long thing about cookbooks and stuff all planned. And I don't know, maybe you guys all go home and read your cookbooks at night. But one of the things that I've learned lately is that the only time I feel like if I try some new food or substitute this for that in a meal, the only time I feel like I'm being abused for doing that is if I call it a diet. If I look in a cookbook, if I try something new at a restaurant, and I'm just doing it because I want to, well then that's an adventure. But if I do it because I need to not be eating so much of this anymore, then it's like a punishment. And so I'm kind of startled by how much of the failure that I experienced happened entirely inside my own head. And so I would encourage you to try and avoid that. I'm going to tell you another fact about me. When I was in my 20s, I decided that because my husband had a motorcycle, I needed to have a motorcycle license. As a general rule, people go, when I say that, because I don't look like a motorcycle kind of gal. So I took a motorcycle riding class, and it was like 20 people in an enclosed parking lot. And we were all on motorcycles, and we were all trying really hard not to kill ourselves or anyone else. And when you're driving a car, the hood makes you look farther down the road. When you're driving a motorcycle, you can look right in front of the front wheel. And that's what we all wanted to do. And they kept telling us to lift our eyes. They kept telling us to look to the horizon. They kept telling us to look where we want to go. Now, I don't know what motivates any of you to be here tonight, but something does. And so I'm going to encourage you tonight, because I know you can do this. The reason I know you can do it is because you can ride a bike. The way I learned how to ride a bike was I fell and I got up and I tried again. And I fell and I got up and I tried again. And then one day, it all came together and I was riding a bike. My guess is that you all had that same experience too. So I know that even if you've dieted before, you can do it again and again and again until it all comes together. And so I encourage you tonight to lift your eyes to the horizon, look where you want to go, and let this be the time it all comes together. I never got a motorcycle license.
You just busted my dream.
Are there any questions? Y'all got it?
Group workout start this week, so
Yeah, and when you come to the Y for your team workout, go to the front desk and we'll all meet there. If you happen to be running a little late, I would told the coaches to tell the women at the front desk where you're going. So, like you're going to the circuit training room, or the gym, or the spin room, and they'll leave a little note there. So if you run in, you can ask them, and they'll say, "Oh, the group's already gone up to the gym or wherever." Yes, ma'am.
Can you just announce for anybody that has Saturday classes about this weekend?
Yeah, so this weekend we have a really big swim meet. It's the last one of the year. So we are going to move the Saturday classes over to the Barb City Y, which is Huntley Middle School. If you're from DeKalb, it's the old DeKalb High School. It's on 4th Street. Does everyone know where that is? And I think we'll send out a general email to everyone, just so you know. There's just no place to park. It's a nightmare. So, generally, and if you want to come out and work out at the Y this weekend, that's fine, but just be aware that the parking is bad. The workout room, kids can't go in there, but the parking is kind of an issue, but it's the last one, it's the only time it happens, so. And we have some prizes.
yeah, 2 pedometers to raffle off.
Eric Miller.
I'm never going to use this.
What?
Do you want us to draw someone else?
Knock yourselves out.
for being honest. Rosa? Clark? And Tiff Clayton.
Only for now.
Okay, so thank you again for coming, and please, I'm at the Y all the time. Contact me if you have any questions. My email and phone numbers on the website. So. Okay, thanks for coming. You're free to go.
So I'm passing out right now my contact information, my emails, and my name on my business card is on there. Share it, add it, or you can turn it in on paper, whatever. Just a reminder, this Saturday, we will meet at our LHTC. All of our other workouts will be right now. My weekend is here. I'll send out an email reminding everyone what we're talking about tonight, along with an address for the varsity line. Also, next Monday, I was on here, and there will be someone with laughter diet logs and marketing attendance, but I'll be here for the workout next Saturday. So next Monday is right.